Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Gamecast, episode 469. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gass, joined by Mike Sneedy.
What's up?
Corey Feinside.
Ooh, it's me. It's scary time. No.
And Tony Korkanakis.
Oh, that was frightening.
Yeah, it was.
Yo.
All right. I'm going to eat on air. So, all right. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to 469 of the Gamecast.
I mean, if you guys all got in on that, then it would have been better. You just kind of left me hanging there.
We didn't know what you were doing. So, yeah, we got a great episode coming up here. We got our top 5 video game villains, I guess. I went with characters.
I'd say slash enemies.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters.
Monsters.
Yeah, we're talking like horror, scary themed for Halloween here.
Yeah,
Just
so
villains in general.
we got that coming up here. We got some news here. We got MPD numbers. We've got a bunch of what we've been up to as well. So we can get right into that. I finished up Zelda finally, the Link's Awakening. I did that last week. Yep, finished that up, and it's a shorter game, like Tony said, but it's fun. It's really like classical Zelda. I loved the remaster of everything. Even the ending animation sequence, like it's so well done. Like the whole thing is just so well done, like a remake. I really hope they do A Link to the Past. I really do. Like I just can't wait.
And with the amount this has made, I don't see why they would not.
So I'm not really interested in the dungeon builder so much. So I think I'm going to end up trading this back in, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. So I did enjoy this game, but so I played that last week. I ended up getting, believe it or not, I'll talk about this next week. I got the new PBA bowling game on my bowler. I've not played enough yet. I got on Switch. It's $20. It's the first official like PBA game in like I don't even know how long. So I had to get that, but I can't talk about it yet because I haven't played it enough yet. So let me play it a little more, and I'll give you my. It's $20, so I'm not expecting something huge here, but I had to support my own sport.
Scratch that bowling itch a little bit.
Well, considering I'm definitely laid up this week from bowling. I got to do something, you know. So it may be next week. I'm hoping not next week, but we'll see how fast I can heal. So I got that, and I'm playing through Gears 5 still. I'm midway through Act 4. I thought I was further along in Act 3 before, and I wasn't. So I still had a lot to do last night, and I finished up Act 3. Got into Act 4 a little bit last night. The problem with that game, now that I'm past the supposed open areas in this game, it's just too barren. Like, I understand they're like what they were doing, but it's like they didn't fill it. They didn't populate the area with anything. They just made it open world. It's like, here's a giant world. There's nothing here, but here it is. So it's interesting. I know what they're trying to do and like say, what do you guys think? And I liked it, but it was so barren. Like there was no drive to go explore what this was. After the ice, I was in an ice world in one of them, and I'm like, after that world, I'm just like, I don't want to explore this other one because I'm just like, it wasn't worth exploring the other one, the first one. Yeah. So I went around a little bit, but not too much. So yeah, I'm still enjoying the story in this game quite a bit. They've done a good job with their writing quite a bit, like really well done with this story. Actually, I really am enjoying this. They've really made it cinematic driven, which is, I will say, take a page out of Sony. They really made this a lot more of a theatrical style game in terms of the way you're playing it, the way it, everything that happens. It's very cinematic. So
I agree with that.
Yeah, so that's been my vibe from this game, and so I played that, and that's pretty much it. I got Apple Arcade, but I didn't get to play any games yet on it. I actually signed up for the free trial, but I haven't gotten to play it yet. So that'll be I got to come. I'll be talking about a bunch of stuff next week, obviously with the PBA game and this. I can tell you one game I did not buy is WWE 2K20. Did you guys see the trending Twitter? Oh my god! Did you see why?
It's like a PS2 or 3 game, right?
Did you see why? Did you see the GIF that somebody the GIF, whatever you want to call it, somebody posted where there's 2 female wrestlers. One is Charlotte Flair doing her like what do you call it? The figure 4, the figure 8, or what they call it, leg lock, where she arches her back up, and for some reason the sitting ref is sitting like right next to them all, and her head just goes into his lap. and it just does not look good. It does not look good. So I'm just like, wow. So there's like a whole fixed WWE 2K20, and I'm just like, yeah. I mean, if you think about 2K19 was pretty bad, and I think they did this in NBA as well, didn't they, Mike?
Yeah, there's all sorts of problems with that.
Yeah.
Right now.
2K's got a problem here. They're using old engines. They really need to up their game here. They have to update a lot of stuff. Their tools, everything needs to get updated because these games don't look so good anymore. They used to look great.
The developer that's been doing it just quit on it, and somebody else is doing it.
No, that's true.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that they don't. Yeah, it's pretty clear that I doubt WWE wants to invest the money that's required to make these games look.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, not just that. I think that
it's
also
a shame.
that the publisher, I think, probably has a deal where they have to release one every year. So they're like, whatever, let's throw it out there. Who cares?
But it's a shame because, a while back, like, wrestling games were great. Like, they had some of the best.
You didn't even have to be a fan of wrestling to enjoy those games.
Yeah, you had some of the best, like, created character suites in games, like with the full move sets, like hundreds of moves you programmed for certain characters, and you could make any one you want pretty much. Like, and you could even like download some of the later ones when it was still good. But now it's just sort of recycled stuff.
There's like a really crazy, like, there's a thread from Dazed Rabbit on Reddit on games /games where he like goes through a list of all the problems with it. Like, one of the most glaring is like when you do an online match, you have player 1 and player 2 and player 3 and player 4 are together on the like screen, but when the match starts, they put 1 and 3 together and 2 and 4 together. So you're not even matched with the player that you're matched with.
I mean, it bothers me because I played them a lot like 15 years ago, and like it was a big deal. You went from like 4 to 6 wrestlers, and in my mind,
you're good.
I would think, but by now it's like, I bet like eventually they'll have like, you could have like, 4-on-4 tag matches with like managers, or like real Royal Rumble where there's like, you could have like 20 people in the ring at once. Like, it wouldn't be a problem. And instead, or like, you could actually break chairs and tables more in real time, like all that stuff. Yeah. None of that happened.
Well, there's you can break ladders in this game. It looks awful bad. I know. It looks bad.
But my God. I remember like, and it seemed like it got like more scripted and less open. Where like, I don't know. I just like stopped buying these games about 10 years ago, and since 2K took over, it hasn't gotten better. It's only gotten worse, it seems like. For
me this year, it's funny because I have a 6-year-old here who actually really like enjoys watching like the female character wrestlers. Like, she loves watching the wrestling. And so I was like, she saw the game advertised and she really wants to play it. And I'm like, well,
it's got the man, Becky Lynch, on it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why she really wants to play it. But I'm like, oh, maybe I'll pick that up. And I'm like, looking at the reviews, I'm like, I'm not getting this game. And then I saw that thing on Twitter. I'm like, if my 6-year-old saw this, I'd be flipping out right now. So, but I don't know. It sucks because you kind of, like Mike, you said, they have a great premise. Like, the Super Nintendo games were so fun to play.
Oh, and 64.
WCW versus NWO was such a great game.
PS2 had a couple of good ones too.
Yeah, I remember.
After that, like even up to like the early 360 PlayStation 3 stuff, they were still pretty good. But after that, something went wrong, and it just not anymore.
They went to 2K.
Even before that, they weren't stopped like changing too much year by year. I think they just started annualizing. Really, that was it.
Maybe stop doing that. So. All right. Anyways, that's what I've been up to. Mike, what have you been playing?
So I actually put a little time into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighters for Genesis.
Nice.
And it's still a frustrating game. And what frustrates me is my favorite turtle is Michelangelo, and he's by far the worst character in the game. And I just can't get down his like half circle whatever move. I hate those commands in the fighting games, especially on the Genesis controller. Even though it is the D-pad is built D-pad, where that would work, but it doesn't work. It doesn't come out well enough. I just hate that type of control.
You're used to the Mortal Kombat style.
I hate the Mortal Kombat style. So,
but I mean, that's more precise. Like this is just like it may or may not happen. Yeah, it is. Just
it will happen if you do it right.
Just press 2 buttons if you do it right.
Don't suck.
No, it's bullshit. It's based on like arcade joysticks that don't exist anymore.
With a good D-pad.
But anyway,
yeah.
the D-pad is good on the Genesis for that. It's a half. I could do the quarter circle fine. The half circle is just comes out like 40% of the time for me. And anyway, so because of this, Leonardo is my best character. I can't do his special moves. Can't do Michelangelo at all. So I got there's like 3 boss characters, which is pretty interesting. And there's Triceraton, then Krang, and then the end boss is Karai instead of Shredder, which is kind of weird. But it's pretty cool that like once you get into it, it's not. I mean, it's old. It has some 90s Genesis jank for sure, but it's not too bad now that I like have a character or two I can get farther with. But it still is very hard. Other than that, I sort of stalled on my second playthrough of The Witcher 3 because I'm getting to the end game again, which I played twice to get a good ending before. I'm just like, I don't really want to do this again. And I'd already got one Witcher set of armor leveled up almost all the way, which is really part of the reason why I was doing this. So then I went back and continued my replay of Arkham Asylum, or Return to Arkham Asylum, because it's really kind of a good game to play in the fall. It sort of fits the
it does,
right now.
Yeah.
So, and I just got sucked back into it again because I started playing it and I forgot that the story sort of like has more momentum than I remembered. So like you can't stop when you like. It's hard to stop unless you like really go to a point where you're like, all right, that's enough. So I'm good with that, and I'm awaiting another game coming a few days away now anyway. So
yeah, definitely got more excitement now for the next couple days here. Yeah, so all right.
There was a comparison side by side of The Witcher on Switch and PS4 Pro, and they did a great job, I have to say.
Yeah,
it is amazing how close they got it. And yeah, you can see like they blurred out a lot of stuff, but like it's almost like they focus like our cameras. Like you don't need to see the background. Like you don't need to see like the scenery so much when the focus is on these characters that you're looking at anyway. And they like really nailed this, man.
Like I said, when we started like thinking about that, like I started just paying attention to how much in the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is what I have version of it, how much is rendered at once in that game, like indoor and outdoor, like you seamlessly go in and outside. I'm like, holy shit, this is always there. Even when I go in this tavern, which is like pretty detailed, like all of the city around me is still there because those are real windows, and it's pretty crazy. Like maybe not efficient, but and my PS Pro still sounds like a jet engine taking off too.
No, it's they're I don't know. I got no idea how they did that.
So it's impressive.
Cool. All right, Tony.
Oh, you're muted, Tony.
You're muted, Tony.
Thank you. Played a couple new games, though they're retro focused. Okay. So one of them is a remake of an old Super Nintendo / arcade game called Ninja Saviors, and it's a 2D side-scrolling beat-em-up game where it's actually kind of funny how the story of the game, because it's like a know-nothing, like whatever, like we're just gonna come up with a story for you to play as robot ninja assassins, and it's like, okay, cool, what's the story? And it's like this once great nation got taken control by this evil corrupt man, and he's oppressed the society and all that stuff. And I was like, interesting. This game was written like in the late 80s, so it's like, that's weird. But basically the resistance built these robot ninja assassins to go and kill him as a last-ditch effort. So that's it. That's the story. But the game is really cool because there's 3 playable characters in the original. It was only single player. So this is a nice remake in the sense that you can do 2 players now, and they created 2 entirely new characters for the remake here, just to throw some crazy shit at the wall. And all the characters play very differently. So it's not like something where it's like, I don't know, Final Fight or Streets of Rage, where it's like, hey, this character is slightly faster than the other character, or maybe jumps a little higher, something just stat-wise or something like that. It's like their entire movesets, their specials, etc. are just entirely different. So played that with Edge. It was really just awesome. I'm a big fan of sprite work, pixel work, so that was really fun. And then another game in that vein was called Blazing Chrome, which I downloaded on Gamecast, which is basically a throwback to like Contra / Metal Slug. So once again, it's a 1 to 2 player cooperative side-scrolling shooter, and it just balls to the wall like so hard. I mean, I think we probably spent a good hour or something just on the last boss. Like it was ridiculous. I was getting a little frustrated. I was like, okay. And it was one of those things where our buddy Zach was playing with us, and the interesting part about this game is you have shared lives. Like every player has their own like life count, but if somebody games over, they can press start and steal a credit from the other player. So there's one time where like I got to like phase 3 of the boss or whatever like that, no deaths at all, and like Zach just wiped, and he's like, "Yo," and he just started taking my lives. I'm like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like. Like, I didn't do this well just so you could take my lives, and we game over anyway. So it was ridiculous. But it's the plot is awesome because it's totally a riff of Terminator. Like, it's just like, hey, like, it's a dystopian, like, post-apocalyptic world where the machine, like, one of the things is, like, we don't know who struck first, us or them. And it's like, okay, like, you know, we know what this is all about. And, like, the other player character is a Terminator, essentially, that they reprogrammed to be, you know, on their side and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, like, this is cool. I like this throwback and stuff like that. And, yeah, it's just a really fun game, but highly recommend it, especially if you have Game Pass, because you can just download and play it for free. It's one of those things where, like, I kind of want to buy it just to, like, show support, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I really like this game.
Keep
like
playing it. I mean, that's part of the Game Pass thing, right?
Yep,
They know
yep.
the play count.
Yep, exactly. And just like the other game I was talking about, it's cool because once you beat it with the base characters, you unlock the extra characters, and they play entirely different to the point where, like, they're semi-broken in a way that their abilities are just absurd, but it's kind of one of those, like, high-risk, high-reward kind of things, because, like, if you fuck up, like, there's not as many, like, safety options or whatever like that.
Right.
So, yeah, played both of those. Really cool. And then I think I just installed this one new game because we were talking about tonight, called Fear, and apparently it's
boy.
Interesting.
yeah. So
Is that little girl gonna come
yeah,
later?
yeah. That's well, no. That's the thing is, like, I wanted to because, like, just in doing research, like, it was a very popular choice, and I was like, I own this game. Like, I've owned this on Steam for years. Just, again, one of those, like, Halloween bundles or whatever. And I'm like, you know what? Let me give this a chance. Because, like, you know, I'm not playing anything else at the moment. So, and it's that time of the year. So, yeah, I installed it right before the podcast. So, I'll have something to talk about.
I remember
next week.
playing that and thinking, it's got like a neat little hook to it. So, like they do a little something different with the first-person shooter aspects and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
change it up on you, which is cool.
Yeah, so I think I got like 3 games in that series or whatever like that. So it's I have a lot to play.
Yeah, I actually did not play any video games at all this week.
Really?
I played all board games.
Oh, cool.
No Borderlands. I didn't actually turn on Borderlands because this week is like they're doing like this Iridium bonus thing. So like, oh, you get Iridium. I have like thousands of Iridium. Like, I don't need more Iridium, so I'm just gonna not worry about that, and I'm gonna play some board games. So I played a bunch of board games. One of them was called Anachrony, and it's a worker placement game. And I'm gonna talk about it because I didn't play anything else really.
That's okay.
So it's a worker placement game where if you don't know what worker placement means, like you have workers and you put them out on a map or a board to gain an action, resource, or something. That's your action, and basically that's what the worker placement genre is. So what this game is, a calamity happened on Earth, and basically we form these factions on how to like get out of this whole calamity, and so we have these 4 different factions, and we create these little dystopian universes for sections for ourselves. But you can't walk on the surface of the planet because it's like basically radioactive or something. So you have these exosuits, and so you have to go out on your exosuits to gather resources and stuff to either build buildings or create different things that are going to help you for later. What the hook is you have time travel in this, and your future self knows that another calamity is coming and is going to destroy the Earth. And so what you're trying to do is you're sending things back to yourself to prepare for this calamity, to evacuate Earth, to make sure you can get off of the planet. But at the same time, you have to pay those resources back, or they will not be there for you to send back to yourself. So this whole time loop thing that's really cool. So you'll get these resources now, but then later on you have to pay them back, or else they're essentially negative points later on. It was a lot of fun. It is a really cool looking game. Like the theme is awesome. Like this sci-fi, trying to survive and save humanity essentially. The artwork is awesome on it. They actually have in the deluxe version minis of the exosuits, where you have the workers can go inside of them, which is really cool, because otherwise it's just basically like little cardboard tokens. But the mini is really cool and gives like the table presence a really nice look to it, and like you definitely like want to like, oh, what's going on here? This is cool. But it is a huge game. Like there's so much going on, and there's different modules you can actually send. Like there's different expansions that you can add to or subtract from the game, where you can have your exosuits go on missions, or there's the calamity can happen sooner or later, which changes things. And what's really crazy is once the asteroid hits, the calamity happens, all the worker placement actions are one-time use, and like once they're all gone, they're gone, and the game ends. And so if that happens, like when you play with the Doomsday track, basically, and the calamity happens sooner, like the game can end really fast. And what happened was, it happened where it moved up a turn before I was ready, and basically I only had one action for the next like 3 rounds, and I was like, so I was totally screwed because I was not prepared for it. But that was the risk I was taking. So it was a lot of fun. I came in last, by the way, because of that. But a lot of fun. That game's called Anachrony, and it's a board game. So there you go.
Sounds cool. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, cool. That's what we've been up to, guys. That's it. All right. Yeah. Let's get into the news. First thing kicking off is I was reading about this Game Boy Pocket coming out that Tony posted called Analogue. So this device is coming in 2020. It's going to be $200 for those wondering. But it basically will play our childhood. So with adapters, it will play any handheld device's games in it. But right now it's going to be able to support Game Boy, Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. Yeah, the Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance. And then it can have adapters for Game Gear, the Lynx, Neo Geo Pocket, and it's not emulating these games. It's done by hardware based. So it's interesting. This is very interesting. So yeah, and it's $200.
It just looks so,
which is pricey.
Yeah, I mean, it is expensive, but it just, and that's the thing is like I can't justify getting it because I don't play handheld game, like old school handheld games that much anymore, to the point where like I need, quote unquote, need a $200 like fancy, like the display on this is so crisp. Like if you go to the page and just look at it,
615 PPI is better than your iPhone.
Yeah, exactly. It's so crazy. But it just looks so awesome. I love that they're doing a Game Boy, or essentially a Game Boy that can play the entire catalog of like what 20 something years.
Yeah.
And you can get adapters to play other handheld games.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is like, the past 10 years I'd say I think we've gone through like this renaissance of nostalgia almost, where it's like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, GameCube, and like other games in those areas have become like rare and more expensive because people are seeking them out. But I feel like we're on that cusp for the handheld stuff too. And with this launching, I think it's kind of like going to push that towards that, because now it's like going to be like anything handheld. Like I just want it for this $200 device and stuff like that.
This is such a cool idea. Like I mean, this thing is a 3.5-inch screen, 1600 by 1440, which is, for 3.5 inches, is probably way too high. 615 pixels per inch, rechargeable lithium-ion battery, stereo speakers, mappable buttons, micro SD, USB-C charging, headphone jack. Oh wow! And compatible with Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, and regular Game Boy. And it has a dock support that comes with a dock for HDMI output for your TV. So you can play all these games on your TV with Bluetooth for wireless controllers. So it's impressive. It really is. This is a cool device. I've heard that this had to be what I heard about from before from different podcasts I listened to. one of the guys is a classic gamer, and he was talking about this. Had to be something they were talking about. If not, they'll be talking about it soon. But yeah, it's impressive.
This company, So just clarification, the company is Analogue.
Oh, I thought it was called Analogue.
Their product is called the Analogue Pocket.
Oh.
But they've done other things. Like if you go to their website, they've made stuff for like the Super Nintendo, the Genesis / Mega Drive, where essentially it's the same thing. You can plug the cartridges in, it syncs up to an HD TV, and you can plug native like original OEM manufacturer controllers into the system. But it's it doesn't have any issues that like a lot of those shitty things, like the old Sega classics and whatnot did, because it's like
the games thing, the thing that I'm playing the Tournament Fighters on right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, it'll work on your HD televisions, where like those systems were designed for CRT televisions.
I mean, this one it works, but not perfectly.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I love enthusiast hardware like that. And just the design. Really, I would just recommend taking a look at the site, even looking at the systems, because it's just really cool, because it's like a blend of like the original design, but also kind of like a modern twist on it and stuff like that. Like, Jim, take a look at a Super Nintendo afterwards, because like it's so awesome. And
I'll take a look.
Just even looking at it now, just like, yeah, I should buy one of these, just, for whatever and stuff like that. But,
that's pretty awesome. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. So I'll look at that a little bit. 1080p zero lag, awesome. Okay, so that's interesting. Nintendo Switch has passed 15 million units sold in North America alone. That's impressive. Is it the second fastest behind the Wii, right, in this time span? Because we sold 20, I think, right?
Yeah. We sold 20, which is
PS4 had 14. I forget what the other ones were, but this was the second highest, I think, if I remember right. So pretty impressive launch, obviously, for the system. And you know why? I mean, like, it scratched the itch that everybody needs. They didn't even know they needed. Games on the go, Witcher on the go. You know what I mean? Like a true handheld device that you can play at home. So it's impressive. Nope, it's been confirmed that. Well, I mean, we knew this already, but it's been confirmed that all Xbox One controllers will work on the future console from Microsoft, whatever it's going to be called. That's including the new Elite controller and the old Elite controller. Every Xbox One controller will work. So that's interesting.
And that's something we kind of all
knew it, but it
knew it, but knew it, and that's why I love it when they do that, because it's just having generations of hardware. Like, I still am using game controllers I got in 2001.
Yeah.
My fucking.
No, I was talking to you, Tony, a little bit about how I feel like the PlayStation, what they're trying to do with, like, and we talked about last week, look at this cool haptic feedback controller, and like we're gonna do all this technology, throw this stuff in this controller, and like here at Xbox, like Microsoft's like, we're just gonna try to give you like all these features and give you games anywhere and play with anyone, and you'll use your old controllers. You already have them, might as well. It's like
not to say
all the things that
that
Microsoft's doing is just like so much more interesting right now.
They're setting themselves up nicely. They're setting up nicely. Not to say that their new controller won't have these features as well, but you can still use your old controllers with the system.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just, I think that Sony's focusing on things that don't necessarily mean as much to the gamer right now than what they think that the gamer wants.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
I do think it would be good for Sony, though, to do another iteration of their controller, because this.
It's always nice to get a new controller, but
I know, but I just don't think
the Xbox Elite controller is still like the best controller I've ever used. It's amazing.
I can't wait. I'm actually
want to get the new one.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Talk about a $200 device.
I'm considering like the problem with trading in the controllers. The GameStop only gives a basic trade-in for it. They don't give you like a specific price for it. But I think Best Buy has a specific SKU for it. Maybe I'll go to Best Buy. I don't know. I'm considering it as well because I really want to get.
I could always just start buying to Costco.
Oh Jesus! Well, wow, that's insane. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I was just playing Gears 5 with that controller. I'm like, I really do love that I can just kind of make this feel the way I want it to feel. Like I put the Overwatch buttons back on. I call them the back triggers because I used them exclusively for Overwatch before. But I put them on in Gears, and I'm like, I kind of like running with this button here on the left, and then I just really liked. It really has added better features.
More options, yeah.
So
never have to leave the thumbs.
Yep. So. speaking more of Microsoft, Project xCloud, the preview is going on right now for a lot of people. There are 4 playable games, and apparently it functions. So that's a good thing. It functions on mobile devices. It functions, and this is working 100%. The big difference here is there's 4 games functioning right now. Let's see, Gears 5. What is it? Gears 5, Killer Instinct, Sea of Thieves, and Halo 5 are the 4 games that are functioning. And it's prioritizing frame rate over graphics on the devices. So
I would hope so. Yeah.
Depending on what device you're working on, it could look not great, like pixelated, but the frame rate will not take a hit. So they said their only complaint they're running into is occasional input lag. But that should be hopefully ironed out by the time it launches. But it's running very well. So that's interesting to see. As we heard about Stadia last week, I mean, I know everybody's saying, oh, well, what about Google? They're going to do this. And I'm like, my thing is that Google still requires you to have one of their Google devices. You know what I mean? Like you have the Chrome browser. You have
Chromecast.
Chromecast.
Ultra?
Yeah, a Chromecast Ultra.
Pro?
Yes, which is $60, I think, or $70. So it's $70. It's $70, that device. So you still need to have that to play that system in your house. Microsoft is trying to bring this to just built-in TVs, built-in iOS, Android. Obviously the Xbox will be able to do it, which you won't have to. But everywhere they're trying to make it more, and it's not going to cost the $9.99 a month. We don't know what it's going to cost yet, but the $9.99.
Well, and they have the ability to throw this in with other things, which makes it more valuable because you'll have bundles. Yeah,
I mean, Game Pass is already there for them for the subscription service, so it's going to help with
that. They've definitely laid down a great infrastructure as far as online, gaming and online, just like friendless stuff, like Xbox Live or whatever. Like they still have the best version of that. So,
all right. And lastly on the news, we have the NPD numbers. Last week they came out, right? Let's see. Number one game, as we just mentioned, 2K. NBA 2K20 was the number one selling game. And this is why they keep making these annual games, and they don't put the effort into their stuff.
Number one selling game of the year.
And that's not even where they make their money.
No, it's the microtransactions. But it's the number one selling game of the year. Anyways, so for the month, it's NBA 2K20. Borderlands 3, which is not shocking.
Oh, we didn't go over any of the Riot stuff last week, right?
No. Oh, wait, did we? No, we didn't. We did not.
That happened after.
Yeah. It did happen after.
Yeah.
It was happening right at the time. Yeah. We'll go into that right after this. Thank you for bringing that up. So, Borderlands 3, FIFA 20, Link's Awakening made the top 5. It's number 4. Does not include digital. Madden NFL 20, Ghost Recon, Breakpoint, Gears 5. That's weird to see that show up there. Code Vein.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, that's weird to see that there. I'm sorry. I'm like, that's kind of weird. It's a good game. Yeah, it's a good game, but that's selling really well for them still.
Well, no, I'm surprised because Game Pass gives.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, there was some discussion with Matt Piscatella on Twitter about that, and he's like, "This might be the first game that shows that sales, how they measure it, the NPD, dollar sales. That's how they measure these rankings. This might be the first good example of Game Pass possibly harming that, but." Overall, I mean that's fine. That's what Microsoft wants. We've talked about Microsoft is about selling that subscription now. They want those subscription services. They don't care about we need this game to sell X million units. We need this game to sell Y million units. They're just we need to get subscribers and growing that digital pie for them.
I mean, you get 1 million people and there's
everybody
percentage of somebody else buying some other thing and goes up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Number 8 was Code Vein. Then we got NHL 20, Mario Kart 8, Minecraft. Number 12 is Blank. Number 13 is the Ultimate Smash Brothers game. Number 14, Spyro. Red Dead Redemption 2 is still in 15, still there, still holding on.
Oh, thank you for mentioning that, Jim, because you know what I was thinking?
What?
Just when you're almost there, you know what's coming out?
What?
Red Dead Redemption 2 PC.
Oh, no. I really... wait, it's coming out when? When's it coming out? This week?
Soon.
Is it this week?
I don't know. I'll look it up. Why?
because October. I think it can lose October.
You think?
Yeah, this is September's numbers, right? Yeah, this is September.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's coming out in October that you think is going to bump this?
Well, you have the standard games here. You have the Gears 5, Link will hold. All of these games at the top 10 are going to hold. They're not going to move anywhere.
Yeah. November 5th. So I don't know if that's covered.
You have Call of Duty. You have Outer Worlds. That's two. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be close. But
I think. Did we bet for a year or what?
It was a year. It wouldn't make it within the year. It was like I think I get October, and that's it. I don't think we get. No, I think maybe I might get November, but I'm not sure. That might be the gray area. So
all right.
We'll have to look back. I'll have to go search it and find it. But I think October is definite. I know I have October, and I'm hoping for October. But November is the one I'm like, I got a good chance in November. I just don't know what the bet was. So we'll figure that out. Plant vs. Zombies, Marvel Spider-Man, Catherine in the top 20, and Breath of the Wild still at number 20. So these are like tried and true, still holding. Good list there. Let's see. Declined software sales 4% versus a year ago. Growth in Switch and Xbox software, which is interesting, could not offset decline on the PS4, which were driven by Marvel Spider-Man. Let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, PS4 had huge games last year.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I guess everything's even for the year. Track dollars for software. Yeah, so because you have the decline going on in this current, but the rise of the Switch. So it's like you have that. So everything's kind of level. NBA 2K20, like you said, is the number one selling game. Debut for Borderlands 3. We talked about Gears 5. Yeah. So, I don't know anything else you want to go over in these numbers here. Hardware.
The numbers for. I think hardware. We didn't get actual numbers, but I think Matt tweeted out. He's like, "Oh, the Switch had the best-selling September units since like PlayStation 4 back in 2014." So, nice to break a 5-year.
I mean, Switch Lite came out too. That's helping the sales too.
Oh yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So we'll see. It's okay. All right, that's your NPD. Let's go over this. Shoot, what do you call it? The issue we missed last week. Riot Games. Riot Games. Yes. We were talking about
their anniversary event.
Yes, their anniversary event stuff. They had their stuff going on with the previews of games and such. So what happened during the event here?
Basically, like I had mentioned, like the rumors, we're getting like so much from them. So we're getting an animated series coming to Netflix based on two of their most popular characters, Vi and Jinx. So that will be interesting and cool to see. League of Legends is coming
really cool. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
League of Legends.
Really cool.
Yeah. League of Legends is coming to mobile and consoles next year.
Yep. I froze.
PC stuff.
I think being ranked in one does not necessarily make you ranked in the others.
No, it doesn't. So that's cool. What else? They're doing this 10th anniversary thing event in the game. They're coming out. They showed off a
first-person shooter.
A first-person shooter that is like a team-based thing, but
style.
Well, that's what the thing is. They're like, guys, they even actually came out and said, like, we appreciate the comparisons to Overwatch, but ours is not like an arcadey respawn shooter. It's more like CS:GO, where it's like you get one life and that's it. So like you got to like it's a little tactical and whatnot. They're coming out with what seems like a Diablo style like third-person looter game. Coming out with a fighting game. Showed off that 2D fighting game and stuff like that. But yeah, just a whole bunch of shit. And it's like they are just.
I think they have a board game in the works as well.
They made one board game. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a second board game. So they are just killing it, knocking it out of the park. And it seems to me like they're really coming after Blizzard hard right now with just everything going on. RTS.
There's a little dig in there somewhere, I think, too.
Yeah, I think in one of the videos they're like,
shade.
yeah, because in the video where they're like, League of Legends is coming, and the other one, the Teamfight Tactics, which is like the auto chess thing, they're like, we know you guys do have phones, so we're releasing League of Legends and Teamfight Tactics on mobile phones, and it's like, gotcha. So like that. So exciting time to be a Riot fan.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for the anime just because Netflix for one, you know it's gonna be pretty good, and then what they showed, like just as far as like concepts, and it looked like the studio themselves were working on it almost. Like I was like, whoa, like they're not just like throwing it out to some third party or something. Yeah. And so I was exciting, and just the lore behind this game is really interesting, and you don't really get that a lot when you have a mobile style game. So just being able to explore that some more in a venue that makes more sense is really cool. Mm-hmm. And of course, the characters that they chose are kind of obvious that you'd want to see those characters.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know how many times I've seen Jinx cosplays.
I know. There's been some comments about their statements of their players, how they're not allowed to talk about the China issues going on.
Yeah,
that's what I was talking about with issues.
Oh well, I mean, we could talk about that. I mean, it's not the best. I wouldn't say it's anywhere near as bad as Blizzard.
It's not. Well, they got ahead of it. They didn't like.
Right, they got ahead of it, and they actually said please just don't talk about it.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, and it's a little different because Riot Games is owned by Tencent 100%.
Absolutely. Which is China.
The Chinese equivalent of Disney, essentially. They got their hands on literally everything. So I understand that, but they're not taking. At least so far, Tencent has not taken a side in that aspect of it. At least to my knowledge, I could be wrong on that one. But whereas Blizzard clearly drew a line in the sand and said, "Nope, fuck you guys."
And now you're getting U.S. senators to email him.
Oh yeah, thank you for bringing that up. U.S. senators sent a formal letter to Blizzard Entertainment's president, condemning their actions. And it wasn't just Democrats too; it was fucking Republicans too, because Republicans hate Big China and all that stuff. So it's you fucked up when you have Republicans and Democrats joining together to write you a fucking letter saying you fucked up. That is just chef's kiss right there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, cool. I think that's it, right? Covered everything?
Oh.
Yep.
Let's get into our topic.
Your camera froze on me, just so you know, Jim. I don't know if it's frozen on.
Is it frozen for you guys right now entirely?
Yeah.
Let me refresh. You guys froze on me for a second. Let me just reload. How's that? Good?
Here you go.
It's fine for the whole time.
All right. Cool. Let's get into our topic of the night, which is our top five. Top five,
spooky topic.
Yeah. Halloween. It's a horror villain for video games or characters. Let's kick it off. Tony, I'm gonna guess your list a little bit more compiled. You played more horror games, so why don't you kick us off?
All right, I will. But my first choice at number 5 is actually not in a horror game, but it's the character from Portal, GLaDOS.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
And I thought about this because the way the game portrays it is that she's just some crazy AI that is your nemesis and all that stuff. But it's if you really think about it, if you separate the comedic elements from that game and think about if you were actually in that same situation, she's fucking terrifying. You are a literal mouse in this elaborate labyrinth that is just designed to kill you.
Yeah.
And the odds are just so stacked against you, and she just is testing this, testing that, humanity this, humanity that, and it's just honestly, it's a little terrifying if you really think about it, because she's just an AI, she has no emotion with it, she just honestly wants you to die.
The cake is a lie. Yeah,
the cake is a lie. I have a cake for you. It's that's a lie. It's a lie. It's a fucking lie. Yeah. And that's what it is. When you're going through the game, especially the first one, you start to see those when you go off the course and you start to see how other people were there and left markings on the wall and stuff like that. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. It's that person went fucking crazy because whatever. So
no, that was a good one. I was thinking of that character, but I was no.
That's part of my number 5. It, so. Yeah, I put it in my number 5 just because I imagine for you, Corey, it'd be kind of it's the equivalent of Handsome Jack in that like it's the villain kind of propelling the narrative forward, but with GLaDOS it's just
without GLaDOS that game is just and then whatever puzzle-y game.
Yeah, exactly.
But with GLaDOS it's iconic now.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Mike.
Okay, so I don't play a lot of horror games, but so a few of these are going to be questionable. But for this is, I guess, a borderline horror game. I'm going with the Big Daddies from BioShock.
My number 5.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's my number 5 too.
That's my number 4.
Yeah,
I was gonna put Andrew Ryan, but then I was like, I think Big Daddy's more iconic.
No, and it's almost like maybe even include Little Sister. I know that's not really an enemy, but they're part of what makes the Big Daddy creepy.
Yeah.
It's a creepy thing, and that game's the setting is like, and then when you're playing it, like the first time you encounter one, you're like, oh shit.
Oh no! Honestly, like in playing the game, the splicers themselves are maybe more scary because they come out of nowhere more. I mean, the Big Daddy sort of announces itself from afar, but it is this tough boss character that changes, and it has just this style. It's like an iconic villain, and the Big Daddy and Little Sister that like injects like dead bodies and like talks crazy, and you're like, what is this? This just introduces you to this whole creepy world, and so that's my number 5 spot. I love the BioShock games, and this was like just an iconic like scary villain in that.
Yeah, Corey, you said that was your 5?
Yeah, that was my number 5 too.
Yeah.
Iconic look. Obviously, like you're saying, what makes it creepier is the Little Sister too, which.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that's my number.
Mr. Bubbles.
I can go twice. I'll go twice here because that's my number 4, and I concur with all you guys. Like, for me, that's like the iconic thing from BioShock, and it's just like a freaky thing. And I think the little girl makes it even
the
like
sounds,
freakier.
copying it too. It's really
yeah. So that was my number 4, but my number 5 is actually the Chirps from Doom 3.
All right.
Have you seen these freaking things? I remember playing Doom 3 with my friend Drew. And that game was pretty freaky, actually. But they're like these.
Yeah, that game scared me as a child.
They are these demon-looking like babies with like teeth and insect wings, and they crawl on the ground in packs, and they're fucking freaky. And it's just like, like I was trying to remember the name of them. I had to look up Doom 3. I'm like, yeah, that's them. Holy fuck, yeah. But like those were like the freakiest looking things. Like I hated that. Like that game was horror style. Doom 3, it was like like a relaunch of that game, so it was already really freaky. But having them, like, you could hear them when you're getting close, and you're like, oh geez, it was just iconic to me, and it just sticks out. So that was my number 5.
Cool.
So. All right, Tony, what's your number 4?
Number 4 is going to be another slightly off pick, but Mother Brain.
Oh,
actually,
really?
Yeah, Super Metroid isn't. I wouldn't, and I'm using the Super Metroid incarnation.
You're not using the Captain N one?
No. Although that does scare me for entirely different reasons. But no. I mean, Super Metroid, I wouldn't classify it as a horror game, but is definitely a deep space sci-fi like game that has really like
got freaky villains.
Right, it's got freaky villains, and that's what it is. Like Mother Brain is like freaky ass. I mean, first of all, it's a giant brain with a giant one eye in this like glass container, and you're just like, what the fuck? Like,
I'm just imagining if they like Final Fantasy VII remake this thing. It's like, what would that look like? It's like, oh my god,
serious shit. And then when you defeat her the first time, like her brain slops to the ground, and then she like does this mutation or transformation where like she has this body now, and it's almost like she's the size of a T-Rex, and it's just like horrifying because now she's like zapping you with beams and like throwing bio grenades at you and all this shit, and it's just like, it's absolutely like, because it's pixel art and it's like Nintendo, it's like colorful and whatnot, but I'm just like, a remake or something like this easily would be just absolutely chilling and terrifying and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, Mike.
I'm going a little off the beaten path again. Now, none of you guys really play this, but Gunther O'Dim from The Witcher 3's DLC, Mirror Master. And this is kind of... Apparently, you meet this character in the like opening tavern you go in the game, although he doesn't have a name until you get the DLC. Then you get this DLC, the Hearts of Stone, and you realize that this guy is pretty much the devil. He makes deals with you. He like brands you, and he even has a little bit of a Joker pencil trick moment when he shows you that he can freeze time and move someone's face into like a sword, and he's just like laughing about it. And so he's in a world full of
Yeah.
in a world full of like monsters and like, you know, there's vampires, like dragons, all this stuff. Like this guy ends up being the scariest because like just the level of evil and power to him is like more than you've seen in this entire game like before. And in the end, like you don't necessarily, you either like, you have a choice, and I won't go too deep into it, but you either kill someone who's innocent for him, or you need to trick him using sort of like a word riddle. Like you have to like figure out what a riddle is, and it's in a time limit too. So it's more difficult too to do what you want than in with other characters. But he pretty much enslaves you, and it's just he's like the most evil character in this game, full of monsters, and for that reason, I have to put him as a great game horror villain.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, Corey.
I don't know this girl's name either, but the girl from PT at the end.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, it's Lisa.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Corey.
Lisa.
Well, we might as well talk about my number 3 with you, so go on.
Okay, well,
It's in my list too.
this game for one is just freaky, and like you're trying to figure out what is going on, like, and you're just doing this loop over and over again.
She was freaky. She was freaky enough, but like the recent news where she's just behind you the entire time.
That
that's
helped
just over the top.
Yeah, but yeah,
Sure.
go on.
And then that's like, and when because you really have no idea what's going on, and like you're just trying to figure things out, and when you do finally see this character for the first time, you're like, what the fuck? And it's just like this, and especially if you have like a group setting.
Oh, that was like
really,
when we played it here. That was just nuts.
That was it, man.
Yeah,
that was the only time I played it, and she made my list for that too.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, that absolutely.
It's great build up, and it's like not much to the character at all. It's not like really anything to much to talk about.
It's a demo. It's a demo. Yeah. It's like, and it needs to make this list.
It's so impactful, and it's so memorable that it has to be for me.
Absolutely.
I really, really hope, and I know we've been talking about Kojima and Death Stranding, but I hope after this, I fucking hope he can go back and finish like his intentions with PT and some new IP with Sony. Like that is what I want.
Silence.
Sure, whatever. Like that's what I want.
Konami's not using that franchise.
Was so fucking good, dude. Like everybody I've ever showed that to has been freaked the fuck out by it, like similar to your guys' experience, and it's just such a shame that like that was a taste. That was a vertical slice.
Del Toro worked on that with him, right?
Yeah.
Jeez,
and Norman Reedus.
Yeah. So,
I almost wonder if that wouldn't work as well in like a full game though.
No, I think it would.
I guess we won't know.
You move set pieces, Mike. You don't like. You basically move from mansion to like building to. You just move set pieces, but make it as freaky as shit.
The curiosity is like you just have to find out, like that ending with him, like and you find out it's supposed to be a Silent Hill game, and he's like walking out. It's like, okay, what's gonna be next? Like I'm ready,
Yeah.
So,
yep.
So big as far as films go, yeah. So memorable.
Yeah, my number 4 was Big Daddy. So Tony, go ahead for number 3.
Number 3 for me was Pyramid Head from Silent Hill.
All right. Well, I might as well just keep going on my list at some point. But go on.
All right. But yeah, that enemy, like, I like Silent Hill. I'm not the biggest fan. I was always more of a Resident Evil guy. But like, just when I saw Pyramid Head, like he is. First of all, it's an iconic design because literally, I mean, it's in his name. Pyramid Head.
Yep.
He's wearing a big ass pyramid.
Yeah, just this fucking ripped ass giant dude wearing a fucking pyramid for head with his giant like fucking sword or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it. And he is just again like a monstrous force.
This force following you, and you're like, oh shit. He's just dragging this giant thing behind him. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's what makes it so crazy.
Give two shits. He's my number 3 as well.
Oh, nice. He's my number 2. I might as well just get this out of the way. But yeah.
You were giving out all of your stuff before you.
Yeah, I know. That's okay. I talk about it separately. I might as well talk about it with you guys. So
yeah.
But I mean, like, he's such an iconic villain to like video game character. Like, you just when you think horror games, like that's one of the ones that comes in my head.
I was thinking from Silent Hill has so many too. Like the nurses are very iconic, you know, and you see them cosplayed all the time, and you see Pyramid too. But like Pyramid is like so menacing, and so like just when that guy's around, you know, your shit's going down.
Yeah.
Something bad's gonna happen. Like either you're gonna have to restart, or
the movie wasn't great, but that was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
So
let me just rip this lady's skin off. Sure.
Yeah. So All right, that's number 3. Number 2, Tony. Number 2.
Oh, Mike, did you do number 3?
Yeah.
No, I didn't do number 3.
Oh,
yet.
You didn't. Sorry, go on.
My number 3 is again in the non-horror game, but it's going to be Scarecrow in the Arkham game.
Well,
Mostly silent.
Fine.
Not only is he scary, it's just he does like the coolest like sort of like scare you stuff I've seen in the game, especially non-horror game. When you think about everything that's attributed to him, like again, I've just played it over again. Like, just you get the part where you go into the morgue and then you just hear voices going, get out, and you're supposed to go the other way, and then you come across like talking versions of Bruce Wayne's parents who were dead. I mean, it was pretty heavy. I'm thinking about it's a good thing I was like already like 22 when this game first came out, because I probably would have been like, oh cool, a Batman game, like when I was like 10 or something, and not been able to handle that. So and then obviously it gives you the whole bait and switch. You think your game is breaking, third wall breaking stuff. So it's not necessarily like when he actually appears he's okay, but it's more like his presence in the game that makes him a memorable video game.
He's a very well done scary version of that Scarecrow, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah. Right, I felt like if I didn't know about Psycho Mantis, I would have been more impressed with Scarecrow. But Psycho Mantis, he almost made my list. That was an awesome villain for a Metal Gear Solid series. But
yeah. All right, number 2, Tony.
Number 2. That is going to be the Witch from Left 4 Dead.
Actually, I have to play it against.
I just this is more not, I guess. This is more gameplay wise, because like just absolutely terrifying whenever you hear her crying. Like it's just like, oh shit, like, all right guys, like slow down, like we need to find where she is so you can like route around her and plan like what around. And that's great when you can plan, but in that game when like they're throwing hordes and the super mutants at you, you might not be able to plan for that. So it's just kind of like, and if you activate it, it's basically she's gonna kill at least one person. Yeah. At the very least. So aside from like her visual, audio, like even like her appearance is like she's like this thin, like dangerously thin woman that's like covered in red blood, and stuff like that. Just she's creepy as hell, and just the low hanging fruit there is like the tank and stuff like that, because he's big Hulk zombie monster. But like you just shoot at him until he dies, which like nope, nope, not happening.
All right, where are we at? Mike, you're number 2.
We're to number 2. My number 2 is, again, I've avoided strict horror games most of the time, but I did play Half-Life 2 and the Headcrabs, and not necessarily just the crabs, but the Headcrab people have to be up there as one of the scarier characters, especially the whole Ravenholm section of that game, where it's just the sounds they make, and they're just, and again, it's sort of jarring because it's not really a horror game most of the time, but then it is there, and it's like, oh, okay, and the lighting, it was just a very scary thing, and then you realize that like the weird sounds the Headcrab people make are really someone yelling "help me" in reverse. It's like, oh, okay. So that one was pretty hard to get through as someone who doesn't like horror games. Playing through Half-Life 2, so for me, and of course they're iconic too for that franchise as well. So Headcrab zombie people.
Okay, Corey.
Oh man, I had so many like enemies and like encounters that I remembered, and I've been thinking about as we've been going. I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot about this one. But I'm gonna go with the Berserker from Gears 1.
Okay.
The first time you face that thing, you have no idea. You don't realize you cannot do anything to this. Like, you don't know that
runs
yet.
you over.
And like, you're in this like dark space, like enclosed, and all of a sudden, like, you're like, oh shit, it's coming, and you're just hearing it, and then it just like explodes through, and like, you try to kill it and you can't because you don't have the ability to do so. And then basically the next part of this encounter is just running away and trying to escape, because it can't see you, like, you have to like just be really quiet too, so you can't like just bolt for it, because then as soon as you do that, it knows exactly where you are and you're dead. And so that was one of the most scary moments in a game, even though it's not necessarily a horror game. But like, that I remember being like really like a very impactful moment. Just oh shit, and like,
you just reminded me of that. I forgot all about that. Like, that's also a hard sequence to play. That was so early in the game. So wow.
And they really don't tell you anything. Like, it's just like, oh, nope. And then comes have to learn as you go.
Yep.
I don't know how many people. Like, I can't imagine anybody beat it the first time, because
no way.
You had no idea.
Unless you knew. Yeah.
No idea what you're going against.
All right, Tony, give us your number one.
Number one, for me, is going to be Nemesis from Resident Evil 3.
I saw
now, I just want to throw this out there real quick. It almost made my list, but for Code Veronica.
Okay, yep, I can see that.
It almost made my list, but I never actually played the game. I've just seen it.
Yeah.
So.
Code Veronica, you just run away. It's like, it's just chasing you.
And that's what it is, because again, from a gameplay, like, this is a combination of like visual, like if you think about it, and a gameplay perspective, like, this is like a quintessential video game villain for me, because it combines, again, like the monster and the unstoppable force, where just like, this thing is specifically created to hunt you down, like, no matter where you go, no matter what you do. Yeah, exactly. Just storms. Like, that's it. All it says is like, the organization that you belong to is like, oh shit. So like, almost from the very beginning of that game, you're introduced to this monster, and it's like, you can damage it, but it doesn't stop it, it doesn't kill it, it just slows it down. So from a gameplay perspective, it's just easy, like, you're recommended to run away to save on ammunition, health, etc. But like, navigating through that, and it'll burst down walls and like come through certain doors and shit like that. You're just like, and I remember that because like, generally in previous Resident Evil games coming into this, if you went through a door, you were safe. So it's like, okay, cool, like, I got through this door, and you're just like, yay, and like, okay, like, I made it through that, and you take like 2 steps, and just like, door flings open, you see him come through, you're just like, like, oh no, like, whoa, oh no, what do I do? And it's just absolutely terrifying, and it's just throughout the game like that. And you know, thinking about it, that was back on the PlayStation 1 too, so it's just like, I cannot wait for the inevitable Resident Evil 3 remake, because just with what Capcom did with RE2 remake this year, I'm looking forward to that game so much. Like, I'm already like imagining how that could be.
Yeah, no, I never played 3, so like, I just know him from Code Veronica, and just like, in that game, you just run away. That's all you do. Like, you can't really fight him. You just have to run away. And there is a way to actually face him, and he's got a rocket launcher. If you beat the games with certain like circumstances.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He has a rocket launcher too. It's just like not only can he beat you the fuck up, but like, if you're too far away, he'll just be like, rocket, and it's like, what? Like, a monster that has a rocket launcher.
And
yeah.
It's got evolutions too of where like you beat him, but then doesn't he like grow longer like and stuff. So I do like that. I appreciate that about him. But I actually never beat Nemesis, and I've talked about it on podcasts before.
Yeah.
Not Nemesis. I've never beat Code Veronica because I got in a save.
Infamous game. So, all right, Mike, number one.
Well, we actually mentioned her a lot already, but I saved it because it was my number one.
Wow.
It's Lisa in PT. And again, it's just again, I don't know if I actually played it myself at all, but I was there.
Yeah, it was just freaking out. Yeah. I don't know who held the controller that night, but it was nuts.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, but again, like, that's like one of my most memorable like horror game group experiences, and I had a few of those. We used to get together like sleepovers when I was younger with my other friends and do horror games like a Silent Hill or Eternal Darkness. We even played, but this one again, like, it's just, as an adult, we were all adults. We couldn't handle it. Just the tension that the PT sort of builds constantly, going through that circle of the room, slight changes, and it's just all disturbing. And then
I have to play this week.
and then she just appears. And yeah, now learning that she's behind the camera / player the whole time. And it's not like a T-pose. She doesn't look silly. She's constantly doing that unnerving, like, sort of shuffling, shaking thing that she's always doing. And you're just like, and she's always there. And it's like, okay, so you're like, huh? What? In real life, because, you know, you're in a room. You're always in a room like that anyway. Mm-hmm. You're always in, like, hallways in your house, like, just walking around, like, looking at picture frames. Yep. So, and it's just an unsettling thing, and it's just... it proves to me sort of like, I think that video game horror sort of goes beyond anything like a movie can do, and I think that's one of the examples that sort of proves it.
Yep. Mm. Yeah, it's a great game. Great demo. Mm-hmm. Great not game. All right, Corey, number 1.
All right, so this one is not quite a horror game either, but the first time you encounter the Flood in Halo.
I was thinking of that
when
you mentioned Tears.
I have to say that was like one of my favorite, most like terrifying moments, because like this game is not like scary in any way, really. Like, it's pretty straightforward. You're a space marine, like, you're fighting things, and then you encounter this Flood thing, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
That was a game changer right there. That whole sequence.
It reminded me of Aliens, and Aliens is one of my favorite things, and so that just so iconic for me.
Absolutely. I went with a different Resident Evil character, Licker.
Yep.
That's for me the iconic character that stands out.
That's from 2, right?
Yeah, 2. So.
Yep, 2.
That was the iconic 2 character. I don't know, that one, like, it's for game character, video game horror, like, characters. That's the one that stands out for me. Nemesis is like so popular, but like the Licker was like the first like oh shit character, like, out of nowhere, because it was a zombie, but it wasn't like a standard zombie. So you're like, okay, oh shit, this is different. So yeah, but I don't know, that was iconic for me, and I think it, you know, that's why it made my number 1 part. But I was thinking about the Flood as well. It didn't make my list, but that was like, at one point I'm like, oh, the Flood were pretty fucking freaky, considering you were playing like, you know, a colonial, you know, alien space marine kind of thing. So. All right, that's
real quick. I just want to throw out clickers. Like first, clickers, like the sound they make are really.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, they were scary the first time at least.
All right. Mm-hmm. So our list, guys. Top 5. PT Lisa, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, probably.
It would have made my list. Like, I was like, it's a demo, you know. So
Pyramid Head, number 2.
I think so.
It's on my list. On your list, 3.
Mine was number 2 for me, yeah. Let's see, Big
Daddy's on
the few list, but they're low. So we could do, you could do Nemesis, you could do...
I think Nemesis.
Nemesis would have been my honorable mention, but I didn't play the game ever.
Yeah, I think Nemesis should be 3. We could do Big Daddy's there at 4, because that got a bunch of votes. Okay. And then you could take... You know, if you want to do the Flood, or you want to do,
tie between Flood and Licker, right?
Flood and Berserker.
Because that was your number 1. Yeah.
No, I mean Berserker was 2 for Corey, and his number 1 was Flood.
No, I'm saying, but your number 1 was the Licker.
Oh yeah, the Licker. I'm sorry, I forgot my Licker. Yeah, I think I said Berserker. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean you could do either one. So I mean, I would consider Flood because it was a great idea, but we could tie. Yeah. So okay. All right, that's the list. So number 5 would be Flood/Licker. Is your number 5. Number 4 is Big Daddies, which are freaky enough. Number 3 is Nemesis, stars. Number 2 is Pyramid Head, which is iconic. And number 1 is a game that was never made, PT. So that's our list. I think it deserves to be that way. So, all right. I think that's going to wrap up this episode. Cool. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. You can write us, podcast@allyoucangeek.net. Follow us on Twitter, allyoucangeek. Like us on Facebook. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Tune in next week. We got more stuff coming your way. You know, if you don't listen to us, see us before then, happy Halloween. See you guys soon.